She was just a poor housekeeper, but when she saw that 9-year-old boy point at her among the 5 rich women and shout, "I choose her as my mother," she understood that sometimes a child's heart sees what adults are incapable of seeing. "Gabriel, come here right now!" Ricardo Almeida stood in the courtyard of the mansion and decided he could wait no longer. 2 years without Mariana was already too long. This 9-year-old boy needed a mother, and he would solve the problem today. Gabriel was playing alone by the pool, stacking pebbles into little towers, the way he always did when he wanted to become invisible. Ever since his mother had suddenly passed away, the child had wandered the house like a ghost. "What is it, Dad?" "Sit next to me. I need to talk to you." The boy approached slowly. His green eyes were exactly like Mariana's. Ricardo felt his heart clench, but he quickly pushed the thought away. One could not live like this forever. "Son, you know I love you, right?" Gabriel only nodded. Lately he spoke little and smiled even less. "Your mum always wanted us to be happy, even after she could no longer be with us." "I know. That's why I've made an important decision. You're going to have a new mother." Gabriel stopped sorting the pebbles. "How? I've chosen 5 wonderful women. You'll meet them all today and tell me which one you want to be your new mum." The boy's face turned white. "Today? They're already coming?" Gabriel jumped to his feet, scattering the pebbles across the ground. "I don't want to meet anyone." "Of course you do. They're beautiful, rich, well-bred women. One of them will take wonderful care of you." "I don't need anyone to take care of me." Ricardo felt irritation rising. At work, when he spoke, everyone obeyed instantly. His own son would do the same. "Gabriel, stop acting spoiled." "You haven't even seen them." "I don't want to see them. I don't want a new mother." "It's not about what you want or don't want. It's necessary." "This house needs a woman. You need a mother." "I already had a mother," Gabriel shouted with such fury that he frightened his own father. "She died, remember? Or have you already forgotten her?" The words cut Ricardo like a blade. "Of course I haven't forgotten your mother. But life goes on, Gabriel. It goes on for you. For me, it stopped the day she left." The boy headed toward the far end of the courtyard, where the bushes and trees grew. Ricardo grabbed his arm. "You're not going anywhere. You'll stay here and meet these women." "Let me go!" Gabriel tried to pull away. "You can't force me!" "I can. I'm your father. A real father wouldn't force his son to choose a fake mother." Ricardo felt as if he had been punched in the stomach. Gabriel tore free and ran deep into the courtyard, disappearing among the bushes. At that moment, Ricardo heard the sound of approaching cars. They had arrived, the 5 candidates, and Gabriel was gone. Elena Santos was wiping the windows in the living room when she saw the parade of expensive cars stopping in front of the house. A black Mercedes, a silver Audi, like pages from a magazine. Elena Carmen, the housekeeper, came running. "The master said to tell you, today you stay only in the service area. You don't appear in the house. You don't walk through the rooms." "Why? What guests?" Carmen lowered her voice. "He brought some women here so Gabriel could meet them. He wants to choose a new wife." Elena felt her heart tighten. In the 6 months she had worked in this house, she had become deeply attached to the sad little boy who lived lost in the huge mansion, full of people, but empty of love. Gabriel always looked for her when his father wasn't around. Elena always found time to listen to the crazy stories he invented. How did Gabriel react? Badly. He ran out into the courtyard and doesn't want to come back. "The master is desperate." Elena looked out the window and saw 5 women stepping out of the cars, all too perfect to be real. High heels, designer clothes, salon hairstyles, like expensive dolls. Poor Gabriel. Elena, don't get involved. The master is already on edge. If he finds out you're talking to the boy, he'll fire you. But Elena couldn't stop thinking about Gabriel. Where was he, out there in the courtyard, crying? At 9 years old, this boy had already lost his mother, and now they wanted to force him to choose a replacement, as if he were choosing a flavor of ice cream. Through the kitchen window, she saw Ricardo greeting the 5 women at the entrance, all smiling, all with the same look in their eyes. All of them had set their sights on the richest widower in the city. But where was Gabriel? Carmen, I'll just take a quick look in the courtyard, check the flowers or the plants. Elena, don't go. Stay here. But she was already slipping out the back door. Something inside told her that Gabriel needed help. The mansion's courtyard was enormous. A pool area, a large lawn, and at the very back a section with trees and a little bridge over a stream. That was exactly where she found Gabriel. The boy was sitting hunched under the bridge, hugging his knees, head hidden. He wasn't crying, but Elena could feel his sadness like a heavy cloud in the air. Gabriel, are you all right, sweetheart? He lifted his head, frightened. When he saw it was Elena, he relaxed a little. Auntie Elena, I don't want to go back home. Elena sat down beside him on the grass, not caring that her uniform would get dirty. What happened? My dad wants me to choose a new mom from 5 women I don't even know. The boy's voice was filled with a sadness that didn't belong to his age. Elena wanted to cry with him. And you don't want a new mom? I already had a mom, Auntie Elena. Her name was Mariana, and she loved me for real. These women don't love me. They don't even know me. How are you so sure? Because they're here for my dad's money. My real mom loved me even before I was born. She loved me when I cried, when I was sick. She loved me always. Elena had to hold back her tears. At 9 years old, Gabriel understood things many adults preferred not to notice. Your dad is probably suffering too. Sometimes adults do stupid things when their hearts hurt. He already forgot, Mom. He took all the photos out of the house, and now he wants to make me call a stranger Mom. He took all the photos? He said it was time to move on. But I don't want to move on without my mom. Elena took Gabriel's cold little hand. Can I tell you a secret, sweetheart? You can? Your mom never really left. She's still here, in your heart, in your memories, in the kindness you have. You're just like her. Gabriel looked straight into her eyes. Auntie Elena, every night I talk to Mom before bed. I tell her how my day went. I ask how she is. Do you know what she told me yesterday? What? When the time comes to choose someone who will take care of me, my heart will tell me itself. Dad doesn't need to order it. Elena felt goosebumps on her skin. And what does your heart say, Gabriel? The boy looked at her for several seconds. It says that you are the only person in this house who really needs me. At that moment, Ricardo's voice rang across the courtyard. Gabriel, where are you? Come here right now. The boy huddled smaller. He's going to make me choose. The voice came closer and grew angrier. Elena made a decision that would change her life forever. Stay here. I'll talk to your dad. No, Auntie Elena, he'll fire you. He won't. I won't let anyone hurt you. I promise. Elena stood up, brushed the dirt from her uniform, and walked toward Ricardo. She found him by the pool, red with rage, the 5 women standing beside him watching everything.
Signor Ricardo,
Elena, what the hell are you doing here? I ordered you to stay in the kitchen.
Gabriel is hiding in the courtyard. He doesn't want to meet these ladies.
Where? Ricardo stepped toward her, trying to intimidate her.
He's scared, Signor. He's a 9-year-old boy who still misses his mom.
One of the women, a brunette in a blue dress, laughed. What a drama! Just the usual tantrum of a spoiled brat. Elena turned to the woman with a coldness that surprised even herself.
Do you have children?
No.
Then don't talk about what you don't understand.
Ricardo turned purple with fury. Elena, how dare you speak to my guests like that?
I'm simply protecting Gabriel. He's a child who needs tenderness, not pressure.
He needs to learn that I'm his father and he must obey.
He needs love and family. Ricardo, they need obedience with a stick.
A heavy silence fell over the courtyard. The 5 women watched the quarrel like spectators at a soap opera. The maid was arguing with the millionaire master right in front of them. You are fired, Ricardo hissed through his teeth.
No!
Gabriel's voice cut through the air. Everyone turned. The boy had come out of hiding and was running toward them, his face red from tears.
Don't fire Auntie Elena! She's the only one in this house who understands me!
He stopped in front of Elena and clutched the hem of her uniform like a little child looking for protection. Gabriel, come here right now, Ricardo ordered.
I won't! I'm staying with Auntie Elena!
One of the women, the brunette in the red dress, whispered to the others. What an awkward situation. The child is completely ill-mannered. Gabriel heard her and turned to her with a fury that stunned everyone.
You don't know anything about me. You're only here because you want my dad's money.
Gabriel, Ricardo shouted. But the boy kept pointing at Elena.
If I have to choose, I've already chosen.
I choose Auntie Elena as my new mother. Dead silence fell over the courtyard. The 5 candidates stood with their mouths open. Ricardo turned white as paper. Elena felt the ground disappear from under her feet. And Gabriel kept shouting at the top of his lungs,
I want her. She really cares about me. If you need a choice, here it is. I choose Elena.
You've completely lost your mind, Gabriel. Ricardo was crimson with rage. The 5 women still stood with their mouths open, unable to believe that a 9-year-old boy had chosen the housekeeper instead of them.
I haven't lost anything,
Gabriel answered, still clutching Elena's hem. I know exactly what I'm saying. The brunette in the blue dress laughed nervously.
Ricardo, this is clearly a child's whim. The boy is just confused.
I'm not confused. Gabriel turned to her, his eyes burning with anger. You're the ones who don't understand anything. Gabriel, you will stop this right now, Ricardo roared. Apologize to the ladies and come here.
I won't apologize to people who don't deserve it.
Elena tried to calm the boy.
Sweetheart, be quiet.
Ricardo exploded. You won't say another word. You're fired, and that's final.
No!
Gabriel screamed so loudly that the neighbors probably heard it too.
If she leaves, I'm leaving with her.
The woman in the yellow dress whispered to the others. What an awkward situation. I think we'd better leave. No, please. Ricardo tried to hold on to the situation. The boy is just nervous. Let's go inside, have coffee, talk calmly. But Gabriel was not calm at all. He let go of Elena's hem and walked straight up to the 5 women. Do you want to know why I'm not choosing any of you? Ricardo tried to interrupt, but the woman in the red dress said with curiosity, Let the boy speak. Gabriel took a deep breath. Because you don't even know my name properly.
You don't know what food I like. You don't know that I have nightmares every night.
You only know that my dad is rich. The blonde in the green dress crossed her arms. Of course we don't know that yet. We've only just met. Exactly. You want to marry my dad without even getting to know me. But Auntie Alina has known me for 6 months. She knows I like stacking pebbles. She knows I'm afraid of the dark. She knows I talk to my mom every night. Alina felt her heart squeeze. This boy was defending her with all his strength. This is ridiculous, said the brunette in the blue dress. A servant has no possibility of raising a child from a rich family. She doesn't even have the proper education. And do you have a heart? Gabriel shot back. I can get an education anywhere, but a kind heart like Auntie Alina's is hard to find. The woman had no answer. Ricardo had completely lost control. Enough, Gabriel. Go to your room. Alina, pack your things and get out of my house. No! Gabriel threw himself in front of her. She's not leaving. She is. And you're going to your room and you're not coming out. I'm not going. Ricardo grabbed Gabriel by the arm and started dragging him toward the house. The boy struggled, cried, screamed, calling for help. Let me go! I want Auntie Alina! Forget this woman. She manipulated you. Alina stood, not knowing what to do. She wanted to help Gabriel, but if she intervened, it would only make things worse. Señor Ricardo, came a shout from the side. Everyone turned. It was Carmen, the housekeeper, running toward them. What's going on here? I heard screams from the kitchen. Carmen, take this woman to pack her things so that in 10 minutes she's not in my house. Carmen looked at Alina, then at Gabriel struggling in his father's arms, then at Ricardo, who was out of his mind with rage. Señor, what did Alina do? She poisoned my son's head. She made him attached to her to cause all this chaos. That's not true, Alina finally managed to speak. I simply took care of Gabriel when he needed it. Lies, Ricardo roared. Gabriel used the moment, tore free, ran to Alina and wrapped his arms around her waist. Auntie Alina, please don't leave me. Alina hugged the boy, feeling him tremble with sobs. Gabriel was crying non-stop, shaking, unable to breathe properly. Gabriel, breathe with me, slowly. In, out. I can't. Carmen became worried. Señor, he's having a panic attack. Panic attacks? He's 9 years old. Children can have them too, señor, especially children who have experienced loss. Ricardo looked at his son, turning blue from crying, covered in cold sweat, trembling in Alina's arms, and for the first time felt real fear. Gabriel, he tried to approach. No! The boy screamed. You'll drive her away! You don't care about me at all! All you care about is work! The accusation hit Ricardo right on target. But his pride was too wounded to admit it. Carmen, call the doctor, he ordered. He doesn't need a doctor, Alina said gently, still hugging Gabriel. He just needs to calm down. Gabriel, listen to Auntie Alina. You're safe. No one will hurt you. Gradually, Gabriel stopped trembling. His breathing returned to normal, but he wouldn't let go of Alina. There, all better. We're good, Alina whispered. Ricardo watched the scene. In 6 months, he had never once seen his son have an attack, and he had never seen Alina calm him so perfectly. Wounded pride took over. Carmen, take Alina to pack her things. In 1 hour, she should not be in this house. Gabriel lifted his head from Alina's arms. If she leaves, I'm leaving with her. You're not going anywhere. Then I'll run away.
If you run away, I'll call the police." Gabriel looked at his father with such sadness that Elena's heart broke. "You really hate me, don't you, Dad?" "I hate you. You've hated me ever since Mom died. That's why you work all the time. That's why you want to give me some woman."
That's why you took Mom's photos out of the house. Ricardo found no words. Gabriel turned to Elena.
"Auntie Elena, thank you so much for taking care of me. I will never forget it."
And he walked into the house, slowly, like a tired old man.
Elena remained standing in the courtyard with a broken heart, watching the 9-year-old boy carry pain that would not fit in his small chest. "Carmen, help her pack her things," Ricardo said in a hoarse voice, and went into the house, leaving Elena alone in the courtyard where, an hour earlier, Gabriel had chosen her as his mother. Now she was fired, humiliated, and had forever lost the boy she had learned to love like a son. 3 days passed since Elena left. 3 days that felt like 3 years to Gabriel. The boy didn't leave his room, spoke to no one, barely touched his food. Carmen brought trays and took them away full. "Señor, Gabriel isn't eating at all," she said on the second day. "He'll eat when he's hungry," Ricardo answered, without looking up from the computer. "He hasn't said a word for 2 days. "It will pass. It's a tantrum." But Carmen knew it wasn't a tantrum. The boy was fading, burning up with longing. Ricardo pretended not to notice. On the morning of the 3rd day, the phone rang. It was Veronica Aguilar, the brunette in the blue dress. "Ricardo, darling, how are you?" "Hello, Veronica. I'm fine." "I've been thinking a lot about what happened at your house. What a terrible situation, right?" Ricardo sighed. "Indeed, it was awkward. I'm sorry." "Oh, darling, it's not your fault. It was all that manipulative maid." "In what sense?" "Ricardo, it's obvious she planned everything. For 6 months, she was twisting the boy's head, pretending to be a poor thing, winning the child's trust. It was all calculated." Ricardo stopped typing. "You think so?" "I'm sure."
A poor woman sees a rich widower with a little son and immediately understands what an opportunity is in front of her. I bet she targeted you from the first day. She was always very devoted to her work. Of course, that was part of the plan. Ricardo, you're a smart man in business, but sometimes too naive with people. Veronica's words found a place in Ricardo's confused head. Maybe she was right. Maybe Elena really had manipulated Gabriel. You know what I think, Veronica continued. You should give us a second chance. Without that woman who sows discord, I'm sure Gabriel will accept us better. I don't know, Veronica. He hasn't spoken for 3 days. Exactly. He misses the manipulation. When he realizes that woman isn't coming back, he'll need someone to fill the emptiness. That's when we'll appear. It sounded logical. At least in Ricardo's head it made sense. All right. Come on Saturday afternoon. Excellent, darling. And this time be firmer with Gabriel. The child needs boundaries. If he throws a tantrum, show him who's the boss. When he hung up, Ricardo felt more confident. Maybe Veronica was right. Maybe Elena really had manipulated the boy. Now he needed to fix the situation. Meanwhile, in the small servants' room she had rented in a cheap boarding house, Elena couldn't stop thinking about Gabriel. If he had nightmares, who comforted him when he woke up crying? She had tried several times to call Carmen, but the home phone didn't answer. Or Ricardo had forbidden the staff to talk to her. On Thursday evening, returning from the supermarket, she saw Carmen at the bus stop. Carmen! She ran to the housekeeper. Elena, you scared me. Carmen nervously looked around.
I can't talk to you. If the master finds out. How is Gabriel?
Carmen lowered her voice.
Bad. Very bad. He doesn't eat, doesn't talk, doesn't leave his room. He's wasting away before our eyes.
Elena felt her heart clench.
And Senor Ricardo? He acts like he doesn't notice.
Says it's a tantrum, but I know it's not. Elena, the boy is really suffering. I need to do something. You can't. He forbade you to approach the house. If they find out you came here, they'll fire me too. The bus arrived. Carmen quickly got on, but shouted from the window, "Those women are coming back on Saturday!" Elena froze on the sidewalk, absorbing what she had heard. The 5 candidates were returning, and Gabriel was weak, without the strength to defend himself. It would be a real massacre. Saturday arrived. The 5 women appeared at Ricardo's house exactly at 3 in the afternoon. This time they came better prepared. During the week, they had talked among themselves and worked out a strategy.
Ricardo, darling,
said Veronica when they arrived.
We brought gifts for Gabriel to break the ice.
What a great idea.
And we talked a lot about the situation. We understand the child was a victim of manipulation. We won't demand anything from him today.
Ricardo led them into the living room. Gabriel didn't come down. Carmen went up for him 3 times until he finally appeared at the top of the stairs. If Elena had seen him, she would have been shocked. In 3 days, the boy had lost weight. He was pale, with deep, dark circles under his eyes. He looked ill. "Gabriel, come here, son. The aunties came to visit you." The boy came down slowly, dragging his feet. He sat in a chair to the side, head down, without greeting anyone.
"Hello, Gabriel,"
Veronica began in a too sweet voice.
"We brought you gifts."
Gabriel raised his eyes and said nothing.
"Look,"
said the blonde in the green dress, today in blue. She showed a large box.
"A brand new game console."
Gabriel looked at the box without interest.
"I brought this,"
said the brunette in the red, today in pink. She showed an expensive bicycle.
"So you can ride in the courtyard." "I brought beautiful clothes,"
said another blonde, today in white. She showed bags from expensive stores.
"And I brought educational books," said the last one in a lilac dress. She placed the books on the table. Gabriel looked at all of it silently. Then he stood up and spoke the first words in 3 days. "Where is Auntie Elena?" Silence in the room. "Gabriel," Ricardo said in a hard voice, "forget that woman. She's not coming back." "Why?" "Because she was bad for you." "No, she was good." "No, she wasn't," Ricardo exploded. "She manipulated you. She made you attached to her to cause trouble." Gabriel looked at his father with eyes full of tears. "That's not true." "It is. Now you're going to get to know these ladies properly. One of them will become your new mom." "I don't want any of them." Veronica leaned toward Gabriel. "Darling, I know you're confused. That woman made you believe lies about us." "What lies?" "That we only want your father's money. That we love you. That's not true. Gabriel, we really want to become your family." Gabriel looked at her with an expression not typical of his 9 years. "If you love me so much, why didn't anyone ask how I feel?" The question caught everyone off guard. "What do you mean, darling?" "For 3 days I haven't eaten properly. For 3 days I haven't slept. Did you know that?" The women looked at each other, not knowing what to say. "Do you know that I cry every night? That I have nightmares? That I miss my mom every day?" "Gabriel," Ricardo tried to interrupt.
Do you know that Auntie Alina was the only person in this house who asked how I was feeling when I woke up sad? The only one who listened when I wanted to talk about Mom?
The 5 women felt awkward. They hadn't expected such a conversation. Gabriel, we can learn to take care of you, the blonde in blue began.
Learn?
Gabriel stood up from the chair.
You want to learn to love me?
Children, Alina didn't need to learn. She loved me from the first day.
That's because she was interested in your father,
Veronica said without thinking.
That's a lie, Gabriel shouted. Auntie Alina never tried to win over my dad. She just took care of me when I needed it.
Ricardo also stood up.
Gabriel, stop. I won't stop. You drove away the only person who cared about me, and now you want me to pretend I like you?
The woman in pink became irritated.
Listen, Ricardo, this child is impossible. He needs serious discipline.
You're right, Ricardo agreed. Gabriel, go to your room immediately.
I'm going, and I'm not coming down anymore.
Gabriel ran up the stairs. A moment later, everyone heard the door slam hard.
Ricardo, said Veronica, you need to be stricter with him. A child cannot rule the house.
I know. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize, said the blonde in blue. It's that manipulative maid's fault. But with time and firmness, you'll fix it. And in the meantime, she looked at the one in pink, maybe you can choose one of us. You don't have to ask Gabriel. You're the father. You decide.
Ricardo looked at the 5 women, all beautiful, all rich, all ready to marry him. This was exactly what he had wanted 3 days ago. Then why did he feel such emptiness?
I'll think about it, he said.
I need time. When they left, Ricardo went up to Gabriel's room. He knocked on the door, no answer. He turned the handle, the door was locked. Gabriel, open the door. Silence. Gabriel, anything. Ricardo stood in the hallway, for the first time realizing that he might have made a terrible mistake. But pride wouldn't let him admit it. On the other side of the door, Gabriel lay curled up on the bed, hugging the teddy bear his mother had given him on his last birthday. He cried quietly, so no one would hear.
Mommy,
he whispered to the bear.
Auntie Alina left. Dad drove her away. Now I'm alone again.
The bear didn't answer, but Gabriel pretended it did.
I know you don't like it when I'm sad, but I can't stop. I love Auntie Alina so much. And now she can't take care of me anymore.
Gabriel closed his eyes and tried to fall asleep. But he knew the nightmares would return, and this time there would be no one to comfort him. Downstairs, Ricardo sat in the library trying to work, but couldn't concentrate. Gabriel's words echoed in his head.
You want to learn to love me?
A simple question, but it touched something deep inside. Had Alina really manipulated Gabriel? Or had she truly cared for the boy? And what was more important, had he, Ricardo, been a terrible father all these 2 years? These questions were too hard to answer. It was easier to blame Alina for everything and continue with the original plan. After all, he was a businessman. In business, when you make a decision, there's no going back, even if that decision destroys your own son. A week after the visit of the 5 women, Gabriel became much worse. Carmen went up to bring breakfast and found the boy unconscious in the bathroom.
Señor Ricardo,
she screamed in despair.
Come quickly!
Ricardo dropped everything and ran upstairs. When he saw Gabriel on the floor, pale and unconscious, his head spun. What happened?
I don't know. I came to bring breakfast and found him like this.
Ricardo took his son in his arms. Gabriel was too light, too hot. Call the doctor immediately. Dr. Enrique arrived in 20 minutes and examined Gabriel right in bed. The boy came to, but he was weak, apathetic,
unwilling to talk. "Ricardo, I need to talk to you," the doctor said after the examination. They went down to the library. "What's wrong with him, doctor?" "Physically, exhaustion, dehydration, overwork. But the problem isn't physical." "In what sense?" "Your son has severe childhood depression. He's letting himself die of longing." Ricardo felt as if he'd been punched in the gut. Depression? He's only 9. Children also fall into depression, especially when they experience significant losses. But I'm not only talking about his mother.
I'm talking about recent losses. Carmen told me you had a worker who took very good care of him. Ricardo tensed. Elena. But she left because she manipulated the boy. Dr. Enrique looked at him seriously. Ricardo, I've known you since Gabriel was born. Can I tell you the truth? Of course. Did that woman manipulate the child? Or could you simply not accept that someone was able to take care of your son better than you? The question hit Ricardo like a shot. In what sense? In 2 years, how many times did you go up to Gabriel's room when he was crying? I work a lot, doctor. Carmen told me that Elena went up every time, that she knew his nightmares, his habits, his fears. Was that manipulation or care? Ricardo was silent. And one more thing. Carmen said the 5 candidates came again. How did Gabriel react? Badly. He said he didn't want any of them, and you decided it was a tantrum. Dr. Enrique shook his head. Ricardo, your son is literally dying of longing. If you don't do something urgently, there could be serious complications. What kind of complications? Hospitalization, tube feeding, intensive psychiatric supervision. Ricardo turned pale. Is it that serious? Yes, and the solution is not medicine. The solution is to give this child back what he needs most, the person he needs most. Not for money, not for gain, but for love. When the doctor left, Ricardo remained alone in the library, absorbing everything he had heard. He went up to Gabriel, who was sleeping, but even in his sleep seemed to be suffering. At that moment, the phone rang. It was Veronica. Ricardo, darling, how are you? Not very well, Veronica. Something happened. Gabriel lost consciousness this morning. Oh my God. Poor thing. We girls were just talking about you. We want to help. We came up with something. How about one of us stays at your house for a few days to take care of Gabriel and help him get used to our presence? Ricardo hesitated. I don't know if that's a good idea. Ricardo, the child needs a mother figure, and we're here, ready to help. Just choose one of us. Give me time to think. There's nothing to think about. I'm coming tonight. I'll take care of Gabriel until he feels better. And she hung up before Ricardo could object. At 8 in the evening, Veronica arrived with 2 suitcases. I've come for a few days. Where's the guest room? Carmen showed her the room and helped with the suitcases, but she was worried. She had known Gabriel for many years and understood that Veronica's presence would only make everything worse. Señor Ricardo, are you sure this is a good idea? Carmen, Gabriel needs a mother. Veronica volunteered to help. But Gabriel doesn't love her. He'll have to learn to. There's no other way. Veronica came down to dinner as if she were already the mistress of the house. She wore an expensive silk dress and was clearly flirting with Ricardo. Won't Gabriel have dinner with us? She asked. No. He has no appetite for several days, Ricardo explained. Leave it to me. I'll go up and talk to him. Veronica, he's very weak. That's exactly why he needs firmness. A child cannot rule the house.
Veronica went up to Gabriel's room against Ricardo's wishes. She knocked on the door and entered without waiting for an answer. Gabriel lay in bed, hugging his teddy bear, staring at the ceiling. "Hi, Gabriel. I came to visit you." The boy looked at her and said nothing. "I heard you're not eating well. That's not right, you know." Silence. "Gabriel, I'm talking to you. It's rude not to answer when an adult addresses you." "I didn't ask you to come up," Gabriel said quietly. "It doesn't matter. I came because I care." Gabriel looked at her with a tired gaze. "You care about me? Of course you do. Why?" The question caught Veronica off guard. "What do you mean, why? Why do you care about me? What do you know about me? I know you're a smart boy. Anyone can see that."
What else? Veronica had no answer. Gabriel continued. Do you know what my favorite color is? Do you know what food I would never eat? Do you know why I have nightmares? Do you know what my mom's voice sounded like?
Gabriel, you learn those things over time.
Auntie Alina knew all that after 1 week of working here. She already knew everything. Forget that woman. She was bad for you. Gabriel sat up in bed, irritated for the first time in several days.
How can you say she was bad if you didn't even know her? I know women like her. Poor women who take advantage of rich families.
Auntie Alina never took advantage of anything. She took care of me because she loved me.
She loved your father's money.
Gabriel stood up, trembling with anger. You're a liar.
Gabriel!
Veronica also stood up.
Don't you dare talk to me like that.
I dare. You don't know Auntie Alina. She's good. You only want my dad's money.
You're an ill-mannered, spoiled brat.
Veronica, unable to restrain herself, slapped Gabriel across the face. The sound rang through the room. Gabriel froze in shock, pressing his hand to his reddened cheek. His eyes filled with tears of humiliation and pain.
You hit me, he whispered.
Veronica realized what she had done and tried to fix it.
Gabriel, forgive me. I didn't mean to. You made me angry and I...
But Gabriel was already running out of the room, screaming, Dad! Dad! Ricardo was finishing dinner when he heard his son's cry. Gabriel ran down the stairs and threw himself into his arms, sobbing.
She hit me, Dad! That woman hit me!
Ricardo looked at Veronica, who had come down after Gabriel with a guilty look. Veronica, is this true?
Ricardo, it happened by accident. The boy was rude to me, said terrible things.
You hit my son?
It was just a light slap. He was ill-mannered.
Ricardo felt a rage he had never felt in his life.
How dare you raise your hand to my child? Ricardo, calm down. You hit Gabriel.
Gabriel clung to his father, crying. The mark of the hand was still red on his face. Get out of my house, Ricardo said, with a coldness that frightened even himself.
What?
Get out of my house immediately.
Ricardo, let's talk.
There's nothing to talk about. Pack your things and leave. Veronica tried to object, but Ricardo was beside himself. 15 minutes later, she stood on the street with her suitcases, calling a taxi. When they were alone, Ricardo took Gabriel to the living room and examined his face. Does it hurt a lot? Gabriel shook his head. No, but he kept crying. Why did she hit you?
Because I defended Auntie Alina.
Ricardo felt his heart clench. How did you defend her?
She said Auntie Alina only wanted money. I said that was a lie. Then she got angry and hit me.
Gabriel, are you sure Alina really cared about you? The boy looked at his father with eyes red from tears.
I'm sure, Dad. She was the only person who asked if I was okay. The only one who listened when I wanted to talk about Mom.
Why didn't you ever tell me that?
Because you never had time to listen.
That answer hurt worse than any slap. Ricardo hugged his son and, for the first time in 2 years, truly listened. Son, forgive me. I was a terrible father.
You're not a terrible father, Dad. You were just hurting like me. And now we can help each other.
How?
You'll stop running away from me, and I'll stop being afraid to talk to you.
Ricardo hugged his son the way he hadn't hugged him in 2 years. In that room, something healed between them. Not everything, but enough to start over.
Dad,
Gabriel said after a few minutes.
do you think Auntie Alina will forgive me?
Why wouldn't she? You didn't do anything wrong.
But she's probably hurt. You fired her, said hurtful things to her.
Ricardo sighed. Yes, I did. I was very unfair.
So you need to ask for forgiveness properly. I will. And if she doesn't want to come back? Gabriel grew sad. Then we'll have to accept it. But at least she'll know how sorry we are. The next morning, Ricardo took a shower, got dressed, and asked Carmen to prepare a special breakfast. He wanted to bring Alina something as a sign of reconciliation. Carmen, do you think she'll forgive me? He asked while the housekeeper packed a basket with bread, pies, and coffee. It depends on how you talk to her, Carmen answered. She's a good person, but she has dignity. If you come there giving orders, she won't agree. And if I come asking for forgiveness, then maybe she'll listen. Ricardo took the basket and went out to the car. Gabriel wanted to go with him, but he was still too weak to leave the house. Bring her back, Dad. Please. I will, son. I promise. The boarding house where Alina lived was in the old part of the city center, a simple building with peeling walls, nothing like the Almeida mansion. Ricardo parked at the entrance and sat for several minutes gathering courage. He went up to the 3rd floor and knocked on room 305. Who is it? Alina's voice came from the other side of the door. It's me, Ricardo. Complete silence. Alina, please. I need to talk to you. The door opened slowly. Alina stood in a simple dress, hair down, no makeup. And yet, she was beautiful. But what struck Ricardo most was the expression on her face. It wasn't anger or resentment. It was deep sadness. What do you need? She asked, not opening the door fully. I came to ask for forgiveness. Alina was surprised. In the 2 weeks she had worked for Ricardo, she had never once seen him ask for forgiveness for anything. Forgiveness for what? For everything. For firing you unfairly. For believing you manipulated Gabriel. For treating you badly. Alina opened the door a little wider, but didn't invite him in. What changed? Why are you here now? Ricardo took a deep breath. To give Gabriel back what he needs most. What exactly? Ricardo looked straight into her eyes. Someone who really cares about him. Someone like you. Alina lowered her eyes. Señor Ricardo. And that's not all. Last night, one of the candidates hit Gabriel. Hit him? Alina raised her head. Slapped him. Because he was defending you. Tears filled her eyes. She hit Gabriel because of me? Exactly at that moment, I understood how badly I was wrong. How blind, proud, and stupid I was. Alina opened the door fully. Come in. Let's talk. The room was small, simple,
but clean and tidy. A bed, a chest of drawers, a little table. Ricardo felt uncomfortable when he saw the conditions in which Elena lived, when she could have been in a comfortable house he could have offered. "Elena, I need to tell you something. Gabriel told me everything. How you took care of him when he had nightmares. How you listened when he talked about his mom. How you were the only person who really paid attention to him." Elena sat down on the bed, still absorbing the news about Gabriel's illness. "I always knew he lacked attention. Any person with a drop of sensitivity would have noticed. But I didn't notice because you were also suffering. Your wife's death hurt you so much that you still haven't been able to truly process it." Ricardo was surprised by her understanding. "How do you know?" "Because I went through the same thing. I also lost a loved one. I know how pain can blind you to everything around you. And yet you took care of Gabriel because he needed it. And because—" Elena hesitated. "And because what?" "Because I became attached to him. In 6 months, he became like a son to me." Ricardo felt his heart clench. "Elena, I came to offer you to come back to work." "As what?" "As whatever you want. Maid, housekeeper, nanny, family member. Whatever you decide." Elena was silent, thinking. "Elena, Gabriel is dying of longing for you. Literally dying. He lost consciousness from weakness.
He doesn't eat, doesn't talk, doesn't leave his room. You are the only person who can save him." "You changed your opinion about me?" Ricardo lowered his head in shame. "I did. I realized you never tried to manipulate me or Gabriel. You simply truly cared for him. All the candidates are gone forever. I understood that Gabriel was right. They only wanted my money. They were not my family." Elena stood up and walked to the small window. She stood looking at the busy street below. "Señor Ricardo, may I ask you a few questions?" "Of course." "If I come back, will you respect me as a person, not as a servant, but as someone who cares for Gabriel because she loves him?" "I will." "Will you work less and spend more time with your son?" "I will. I already understood that Gabriel needs me as much as he needs you." "And if in the future you meet another woman and want to marry, will you remember that Gabriel has his own opinion on the matter?" Ricardo thought about the question. "I will. By the way, Elena." "Yes?" "Gabriel said yesterday that you are the only person he wants to see as his mother. And watching the two of you together, I understood that there is a real bond between you." Elena turned to him. "What are you saying?" Ricardo blushed. He hadn't planned this conversation, but the words came out on their own. "I'm saying that maybe Gabriel is right. Maybe you are exactly what our family needs." "Señor Ricardo, I'm a servant." "Elena, as a real member of the family." Elena lost the power of speech. She hadn't expected this. "I know it sounds crazy," Ricardo continued. 2 days ago, I considered you a manipulator. And today, I understand that you could be the answer to all our problems." "What answer?" "Gabriel needs a mother who will truly love him. I need someone who will help me become a better father. And you need a family that will value you." Elena sat back down on the bed, stunned by the conversation. "This is too fast, Señor Ricardo." "Too confusing." "I know. I'm not asking for an answer now. I'm asking you to come back, to take care of Gabriel, to give us a chance to show that we've changed."
"And if it doesn't work out?"
"If it doesn't work out, You can leave whenever you want, with full respect and all the compensation you deserve." Elena was silent for long minutes. Ricardo waited anxiously. "All right," she said at last. "I'll come back." Ricardo felt enormous relief. "Really?" "Really. But not for you, for Gabriel. If he's sick and needs me, that's the only thing that matters." "I won't hurt you, Elena." Elena looked around the simple room where she had spent the 2 saddest weeks of her life. "Yes. Give me 10 minutes to pack my things." 10 minutes later, she stood with a small suitcase in her hand, ready to return to the house she had never imagined she would miss so much. "Elena," Ricardo said as they went down the stairs, "thank you." "For what?" "For giving our family a second chance." "Señor Ricardo, may I be frank?" "Of course." "I missed you too, especially Gabriel." Ricardo smiled for the first time in several weeks. "Then let's go home. Let's take care of him." "Let's go." For the first time, they left that building not as master and servant, but as 2 people who wanted the same thing: to see Gabriel happy again. Gabriel was standing at the window of his room when he saw his father's car drive into the garage. His heart beat faster. Was Elena with him, or had Ricardo returned alone with the news that she hadn't wanted to forgive? Carmen ran upstairs. "Gabriel, your dad is back. He brought Auntie Elena." "Really, my dear? Let's go down and see." Gabriel slowly descended the stairs on legs that trembled with excitement. He stopped in the middle of the living room and waited. The front door opened. Ricardo entered alone. Gabriel's heart sank. "How are you, Dad?" he asked weakly. "I'm fine. Elena." At that moment, Elena walked in and stopped when she saw Gabriel.
"Auntie Elena!"
The boy ran to her and threw himself into her arms. Elena hugged him, unable to hold back her tears. "You came back!" Ricardo stood silently, watching their embrace. He understood what an idiot he had been. The bond between them was real, pure, genuine. How could he have thought it was manipulation? "Auntie Elena," Gabriel said, still not letting her go, "are you staying forever now?" Elena looked at Ricardo, who nodded encouragingly. "I'll stay as long as you want me to stay." "Then forever, because I'll never want you to leave." "Agreed." Gabriel finally let Elena go and ran to his father. "Thank you, Dad. Thank you for bringing her back." Ricardo hugged his son. "Don't thank me. I should have done this sooner. The main thing is that now we're a family again." The word family echoed through the living room. Ricardo and Elena exchanged glances, both remembering the conversation in the boarding house. "Gabriel," Ricardo said, "Auntie Elena has only just arrived. Maybe we should let her rest a little." "No, I want to show her so many things. Auntie Elena, let's go to my room. I have so much to tell you." Elena laughed. "All right, but only if you promise we'll have a proper lunch afterward." "I promise. Now that you're back, I'll eat everything." The 3 of them went upstairs together. Gabriel talked non-stop. Elena listened to every word as if it were the most important thing in the world. Ricardo stayed in the living room, watching them go up. Carmen approached. "Señor Ricardo, you did the right thing." "I hope so, Carmen. This house turned into a cemetery after Elena left. And now life has returned." "Carmen, may I ask you something?" "Of course." "Do you think Elena can really become part of this family? Not as a servant, but as Gabriel's mother?" Carmen smiled. "Señor, she already is Gabriel's mother. It only remains to make it official. And as for my wife..." "That's for you to decide."
But may I say something?
Go ahead. In 20 years of working here, I've never seen you as human as today. Elena will bring benefit not only to Gabriel, but also to you. In Gabriel's room, Elena listened to a detailed account of everything that had happened in her absence. "And then that woman slapped me across the face," Gabriel told her indignantly. "My God, she really hit you?" "She did! Look, the mark is still visible." Gabriel showed his cheek, which still had a slight redness. Elena carefully touched his face. "Did it hurt a lot?" "It hurt. But what hurt more was that she said bad things about you. She said you only needed Dad's money, and I defended you. I said she was a liar, that you really love me." Elena hugged Gabriel again. "You are the bravest boy I know." "Auntie Elena, can I tell you a secret?" "You can always." "When you left, every night I talked to Mom." "How?" Gabriel took the teddy bear his mother had given him. "I talked to her through the bear. I told her I was sad, that I missed you. And what did she answer? She said you would come back, that you loved me very much and would never leave me." Tears filled Elena's eyes. "Your mom was right. I know. She always knows everything, from heaven." "Gabriel, may I ask you a question?" "Of course." "How would you feel if I were not just your nanny or a servant in the house?" "How?" Elena chose her words carefully. "How would you feel if I became a real member of the family?" Gabriel's eyes widened. "Like Dad's wife?" Elena blushed. "Something like that. How would you feel?" Gabriel thought for a few seconds. "Auntie Elena, I will always be completely honest. Ever since you appeared here, I have imagined what it would be like if you were my real mom." "You imagine?" "I imagine. You saying goodnight to me every day, taking me to school, taking care of me when I'm sick. I imagine we're a real family."
And how do you feel when you imagine that? Gabriel smiled the most beautiful smile Elena had ever seen.
"Happiness. Enormous happiness."
"Then if one day this happens,"
"When it happens," Gabriel corrected, "it will be the happiest day of my life."
Elena hugged the boy, moved.
"You are very special, Gabriel. You are special too, Auntie Elena. That's why I chose you that day in the courtyard. Do you remember?" "I remember. Everything. You were scared. I was scared too. But my heart knew you were the right person. My heart knew. Like Mom always said, the heart never makes a mistake when it truly loves someone." Elena was touched by the wisdom of this 9-year-old child. "Gabriel, now that I'm back, I need you to promise me one thing." "What?" "That you will always talk to me when you're sad or scared. That you won't keep everything inside." "I promise." "And you promise me that you will never leave again?" "I promise." "No matter what happens, I will always be by your side. Even if Dad argues with you, even if Dad argues with me, even if other women appear who want to marry him." Elena laughed. "Especially if other women appear." Gabriel laughed too. "Auntie Elena." "Yes?" "I love you." It was the first time Gabriel had said those words. She felt her heart explode with emotion. "I love you too, Gabriel. Very much. Like my own son. I love you as if you were my real son." Gabriel beamed. "Then you are already my mom in my heart. And you are already my son in my heart." They sat like that, hugging, sealing the love that had been born naturally and that nothing in the world could destroy.
Downstairs, Ricardo was in the library when he heard laughter from Gabriel's room. For the first time in several months, he heard his son really laugh. He quietly went up and stopped at the slightly open door, watching. Elena and Gabriel were sitting on the bed looking at a photo album. "Here's Mom when she was pregnant with me," Gabriel explained. "How beautiful she is."
You can see she was very happy. She was. Dad always says she was the happiest in the world when she found out I was coming. And here's when I was born. Here we are 3 in the hospital. Look how scared Dad is. Ricardo watched the scene and noticed what he had never noticed before. Elena wasn't trying to replace Mariana. She honored her memory, helping Gabriel keep his mother's memories alive. "Auntie Elena," Gabriel said, "when you marry Dad, you will be my second mom. Mom Mariana will remain my first mom." "Exactly. No one will ever take your Mom Mariana's place. I will be new love, different. As Dad always says, there is room in the heart for great love." Tears filled Ricardo's eyes. Elena was teaching Gabriel what he himself had not been able to teach: that to love again does not mean to forget the one who left. He knocked on the door. "May I come in?" "Dad, come and look at the photos with us." Ricardo sat down on the bed next to them. For the first time in 2 years, he was able to look at Mariana's photos without feeling only pain. "Look at this photo, Dad," Gabriel said, showing a picture of pregnant Mariana. "Auntie Elena said Mom was very happy here." "She was. She couldn't wait for you to be born." "And this is from my first birthday. It was a wonderful party. Your mom insisted on inviting all the children from our neighborhood." Elena watched the father and son talking about the sea, naturally, without pain, without guilt. This was exactly what Gabriel needed. "Dad," Gabriel said after a while, "can I ask you a question?" "Of course." "Do you like Auntie Elena?" Ricardo looked at Elena, who blushed. "I like her very much, Gabriel." "As a friend or as a mom?" Gabriel's direct question left both adults speechless. "Gabriel, start," Elena began. "This is an important question," Gabriel insisted. "Because if you like each other, you can date, then get married, and then we'll become a real, complete family." Ricardo and Elena exchanged glances. Gabriel's simplicity made everything so easy. "Gabriel, such things require time," Ricardo said carefully. "How much time? I don't know. It depends on many things." Gabriel thought. "Dad, may I express my opinion?" "Go ahead." "You two already love each other. It's obvious from the way you look at each other. And we already live like a family, so why not make it official soon?" Elena laughed at the boy's simple logic. "It's not that simple, Gabriel." "Why not?" "Because your dad and I haven't known each other for very long. 6 months isn't much. And besides, the most important thing is not time, but whether we truly love each other." Ricardo was amazed by his son's wisdom. "How do you know when people truly love each other?" "It's easy. When they take care of each other, when they worry about each other, when they are happy together. Exactly like you two." Ricardo and Elena looked at each other again. Gabriel was right. "Gabriel," Ricardo said, "how about we let everything take its course?" "All right, but I already give my approval for the wedding." All 3 laughed together. For the first time in 2 years, this house knew real happiness. "And now," Elena said, "how about we go down for lunch? You promised you would eat properly." "I will. Now that my family is together again, I have an appetite again." Gabriel jumped off the bed with energy he hadn't shown in several weeks. He ran downstairs shouting, "Carmen,
I'm hungry! Ricardo and Elena remained alone in the room.
Elena, Ricardo said, thank you. For what? For giving me back my son and teaching me that you can love again without betraying those who left. Elena smiled. Gabriel taught me that. Children have a wisdom we adults have lost. Elena, what Gabriel said about our wedding, do you feel the same? Elena took a deep breath, frightened, happy, confused all at once. Why frightened? Because everything happened too fast. Yesterday I was your fired housekeeper.
Today they treat me like your future wife. Why happy?
Because I fell in love with both of you, with this family.
Ricardo approached her.
Elena, may I be honest? Of course. I fell in love too. I don't know when, I don't know how, but I fell in love with the woman who brought happiness back to my son and taught me to be a father again.
Elena felt her heart beat faster.
Ricardo, I know it's early. I know everything is complicated. But I can't pretend I feel nothing. What do you feel? That you are exactly what Gabriel and I have always needed. That you didn't appear here by chance. That maybe Mariana sent you to take care of us.
Elena was moved by his words.
Do you really believe that? I do. Gabriel chose you that day in the courtyard. Now I understand that my heart chose you too.
Dad! Auntie Elena! Gabriel shouted from below. Lunch is ready!
They laughed. Let's go, Elena said. Your son is hungry. Our son, Ricardo corrected. Elena smiled. Our son. They went down together, holding hands for the first time. Gabriel saw them and began clapping.
I knew it! I knew you would be together!
Carmen appeared from the kitchen, smiling.
What joy! This house needed love again.
During lunch, Gabriel didn't stop talking. He told Elena about school, about his friends, about plans for his upcoming birthday.
Elena, will you be at my birthday?
Of course I will.
Will you help me organize the party?
If you want.
I want! Dad, will you help too?
Ricardo smiled. Of course, son. Then this will be the first party we organize as 3. After lunch, Gabriel wanted to show Elena the courtyard as if she had never seen it.
Look, Auntie Elena, here's where I chose you that day. Do you really remember?
Gabriel ran to a specific spot near the pool.
Here I stood. You stood there. I pointed at you and said I wanted you to be my mom.
Ricardo watched the scene. Do you still want that?
Of course. Now even more.
Elena knelt down to be at the same level as Gabriel.
Gabriel, if one day I really become your official mom, promise me you will always remember Mom Mariana. I promise. She will be my mom in heaven, and you will be my mom who is here next to me. Your heart has room for both. Gabriel spread his arms. My heart is huge. There is room in it for everyone I love.
Ricardo hugged Elena from behind.
Then it's decided.
What's decided? Gabriel asked with curiosity.
Ricardo looked at Elena, who he felt was smiling. That we will officially formalize our family soon. Really? Gabriel shouted and ran across the courtyard. Carmen! Carmen! Dad is marrying Auntie Elena! Carmen appeared at the kitchen door, laughing. How wonderful, my boy! How wonderful! Gabriel ran back and hugged both of them at the same time. Now, yes! Now we are truly a complete family! Ricardo looked at the blue afternoon sky. Mariana, our family is complete again. Thank you for sending us Elena. Elena also looked up. "Thank you, Mariana. I will take very good care of your boy." Gabriel looked at the adults. "Does she see us, Mom?" "Yes," Ricardo said. "I'm sure she's happy up there in heaven." And in that very courtyard where everything had begun, a new family was formed. It didn't replace what had been lost, but created something new and beautiful based on true love. 6 months later, in a simple but touching ceremony, right in the courtyard of the house, Ricardo and Elena were married. Gabriel was the proudest page in the world, carrying the wedding rings with a smile that lit up the entire celebration. "Now it's official," he said, when the newlyweds kissed. "I have the best family in the world." While the guests applauded, Elena looked at the sky and whispered, "Thank you, Mariana. I promise I will love you forever." The wind swayed the trees in the courtyard as if Mariana was giving her final blessing.
The housekeeper, chosen by a 9-year-old boy, became not just a wife and mother, but the person who brought happiness back to a broken family. And Gabriel grew up. In his life, there were 2 especially important women: Mariana, whom he loved first and forever, and Elena, who loved him when he needed it most, and no one else.